Hello and welcome to the 4 tools and skills that you need to never have to worry about revenue again. Hello, I am Joe Rocky, the author of Casino Sales Master, the course host, the course creator, the course coach of Casino Sales Master. And what we're going to break down today are those 4 things that you need to instill within your world to be able to make sure you never have to worry about revenue again. Whether you are a large, massive conglomeration, a just start out, an independent salesperson, or whatever your situation is, you will get benefit from this next hour. We're going to cover the 4 things. After the first 3, I'm going to introduce an opportunity for all of you to be able to join the Casino Sales Master community, followed by the 4th, which might be the most important, and then we're going to do Q&A afterwards at the end. So feel free to send your comments or questions throughout the broadcast, and I will be addressing them specifically at the end of the show. My producer, Steven, will be moderating the comments throughout it as well. So let us begin. The 4 things that you need so that you never need to worry about revenue again actually starts with the dynamic of a relationship. You see, every culture in the world does have some things in common. It might not seem that way, but we do. For one, we all breathe air. For a second thing, we all are bred to lie to salespeople. That's right. And the reason is that every human being on earth hates being used. So therefore, to prevent yourself from being used, you put up barriers. In this case, lying to salespeople. So we have this as the starting point between every person. I don't want to be used by a salesperson, but they aren't going to let me off this lot unless they get their commission. And the dynamic is born between them. So what do buyers do? They lie. I'm not going to get hurt. I'm not going to get used. Well, maybe I can get something out of them if they're going to try to use me. I'm going to go take that sample. I'm going to go learn that free information. And then I'm going to ghost you. I'm not going to answer your question when you want to have an actual definitive solution. I'm going to be wishy-washy. And then the final step is absolute disappearance and ghosting. I mean, think about it. You're in a store, gives out free samples, maybe Costco, something like that. Come up, you take the free use of the sample. You say, yeah, I'm going to put it in my cart. As soon as you round the aisle of that corner, nope, it's not your cart. And then you run away out of the store and hope that the sample lady doesn't see you again. It's a standard practice we do with all buying decisions. And it's a spillover effect of what the 1960s sales method gave us, which was the you're not getting off this car lot unless you go in the car that I want you to buy. No one liked it. No one likes being used. So then what did sales evolve to? It evolved to the internet, because at least there's not an evil salesperson there who's trying to take my soul from me and use me. So the early days of Amazon and eBay are still with us. We're going to sell on features and benefits. If you had the best product, you're going to be able to see the features and benefits of it. The problem is that is not how people buy. People do not buy based upon logic. They don't buy based upon features and benefits. And to show this, you've never seen a successful online engagement store, a successful online jewelry store where you are buying that diamond ring. And the reason is, as much as there's this tension between buyers and sellers, when you are making an important purchase, not necessarily an expensive purchase, but an important purchase, you want to talk to someone. You want to talk to a salesperson. So there's a need for this broken relationship. And that's really what we're going to dive into here, and how to fix that to have your clients want to see you succeed. Because getting the prospects to want to see your success is the key to all this power. So let's start with some internal work that we're going to need to do here. Throughout this presentation, there are going to be a couple of times where we do visuals. So I do ask that any of your notifications from any of your devices, your next appointment, whatever the case may be, that you silence those. Because when we go through these exercises, they are going to radically transform you, especially the more that you do them. So for the first one, I want you to close your eyes and imagine that you saw Arnold Schwarzenegger at the end of the street. Instantly, you're going to be able to tell that Arnold is a powerful guy, just from the way that he looks and carries himself. And the thing is that we can do that with every single person. We can do visual judgments about their power, their physique, etc. We also can do it with, will we be able to trust that person, and should we trust that person? The difference is a different set of workout skills. So just as you see Arnold's physically strong because of his doing all of his curls and his squats, we can do drills ourselves to make us more trustworthy and more desirable by our prospects. Every single one of us knows the feeling of sharing stuff and oversharing information and just being comfortable around a select amount of people. I will tell them absolutely everything. I have no problem bearing my soul, the good, the bad, the ugly, the hopes, the dreams, the aspirations. For most of us, that's our best friend. But everyone else in this world has to go through a process of starting with, I don't want them to know anything about me, but if they do, I have my own personal filters before I can trust you. Well, the exercise and drills that we're going to teach you and trust are going to be able to get to someone to more readily want you to see you succeed. They're going to want to tell you the truth, and they're going to want to open up to you. And I'm not saying they're going to become your best friend in 10 minutes, but in terms of the relationship dynamics of buyers and sellers, they are. And that is the key to all of this. Doing the drills that are going to put you in a different emotional framework from everyone else out there. All the elite sales programs in the world know how to frame, this is how you get to someone's problem, this is how you know their budget, their decision maker, etc. We use different words to describe it, but we all get to that same point. What we bring here at Casino Sales Master, and these drills you're about to experience, are revolutionary. 97% of people don't know how they form their own relationships, let alone how to teach them. And you are about to get a crash course in the equivalent of doing curls and squats for people to trust you and what your emotional state will be in terms of how you're received. Your brain will want to not do this. Just as you see people that don't want to exercise, even though they know they should, the same thing's going to happen here. You're going to be in a state of vulnerability, maybe a little bit of awkwardness, and you're going to want to quit. And I have to tell you up front, transformation doesn't happen with quitting. Transformation happens by doing the process and going all in. So let us begin with the first step, the first thing that you need to do to be able to never have to worry about revenue again. And this is going to be a visualization drill where I'm going to need you to, again, turn all your notifications off, close your eyes, and silence your mind as best as you can. Now, I want you to imagine that you're walking around a beach. And this is a sandy beach that is around a still, calm lake, a circular lake. And as you walk around this beach, you notice that within the sand, there's scribblings in the sand all over the place. Some of the scribblings are larger and some of them are smaller. And as you walk up and look at these scribblings, it starts to become apparent that these are actually words that are written in the sand. And more specifically, they are words about you. Your skills, attributes, and abilities are all written across this beach as far as the eye can see. As we continue to walk around this circular lake, the sand keeps showing us more and more of our skills and abilities. And as we look a little further, we see that there's a big rock in the middle of the beach up there. And as we walk towards it, we notice that it's not a pretty rock. It looks really heavy. It looks dangerous to touch. We approach the rock. And when we pick it up, we realize it's not as heavy as we thought it would be, only about a baseball. And you throw it into that lake. When the rock hits the lake, the water splashes out and covers up all the sand in a great ripple tidal wave. And as the water recedes, the rock is no longer visible, but 3 to 6 of those skills and attributes are written there within the sand. And those 3 to 6 skills and attributes are what the lake is showing you as what you need to do to solve that problem that is big and ugly that is in your world. Leaning in to those 3 to 6 attributes are your key. So please open your eyes, but remember what those 3 to 6 are. Keep them within you. Because the task moving forward is to look for opportunities to use these 3 to 6. Not just while you are in the actual solving of that particular problem, but in all aspects of your life. Because those 3 to 6 abilities and attributes are what will drive you to success. They are what will keep any limitation from holding you back. Most of us know the limitations of the world, right? Most people are most commonly cited, I don't have enough time, money, or energy. But these 3 to 6 attributes are something you have within you at any moment in time that you can exhibit and display. The growth of these are what make you stronger. Now, you got to do this drill regularly. We do it every Monday with our clients. And the reason is that these 3 to 6 attributes may gradually change over time, and they may not. But looking for opportunities to insert them into your world will keep limitations from defining you. And they will allow a natural essence from within to show outwards. See, so many of us look for and crave what became eventual buzzwords: authenticity, and honesty. Well, the thing is, they're way beyond buzzwords. What they are is essence of human being needs. We need to be around people who are authentic and honest. And as you lean in to those 3 to 6 attributes and skills that your brain just told you are what you are and what you are best at and what is needed right now, you will be fulfilling that goal. This is the equivalent of doing curls to build up your glamour muscles to have people want to trust you. This simple starting point puts you in a situation where you will be ready for success. Look for opportunities to use your skills and attributes. Now, the next major skill in which we want to discuss here is, how do we build up revenue? It's cool that I just build up myself, but how do I build up revenue if I don't have the right prospects? Well, that's a very good question. Because if you get prospects that want to see you succeed, you will succeed. It's just that simple. Now, the question is, how do we get prospects that want to see us succeed? Unfortunately, it is very easy to get bad prospects into your world. There's an entire industry built upon it. just giving you prospects and leads, and then you figure it out from there. And the reason it exists is because it's really easy to do data mining. It is. But it's not beneficial because your business and the concept of your ideal prospect doesn't care what your prospect's age range, height, hair color, gender, tonality, college experience, income level. None of that matters to your business, specifically the relationship between your business and your prospects. What matters and what solely matters is what is the problem you solve for your prospects. Being in a business 24/7, we are naturally absorbed to how we solve problems, the specialization of our skills, the way in which we communicate, the special colored frosting we put on top of our cakes, how we go about in being the best. It's natural. It's part of being an elite business. You have to care about your details. The problem is your prospects don't care how you do it. They care about what they get from you. So if you are out there and you're wanting to go to a restaurant and it's a breakfast place, so they make ground up sausage and they make hash browns. At the end of the day, you don't care how many times they slice up those hash browns before they put them on your plate. Sure, you might be very specific. Every single one of your chefs does it 12 times. They don't care. Your prospects don't care at all. What your prospects care about is, did they get the experience that they wanted? And that is wildly different than how you did it. This is not a discussion of semantics. This is not me trying to change words. This is changing a paradigm shift in the way you look at the relationship with your business and your prospects. What is it your clients get from you? What problem do you solve? That is all that actually matters. Because as we get into the core of what it is you solve, the more natural it is for them to want to come to you. Because the more you are at the core of the problem that you solve, the stronger that magnet becomes. Every day, you will see people broadcasting how to get noticed more. Maybe it's here on LinkedIn, maybe it's on YouTube, maybe it's through SEO work on Google. The core to any algorithm of what they all are trying to do is to connect people based upon what their magnet wants and what your magnet shows it has. The clearer you are and the more consistent you are in what you solve, the stronger your magnet becomes. And it will penetrate through the echoes of all the internet. Now, I'm not trying to tell you don't need to do any form of SEO or paid work. But what I am telling you is that being clear as far as what your prospects get from you, what problem do you solve for them, is the starting point. So let's give an example here with pizza places. Domino's is where you go if you want to have the easiest form of a purchase and a quick delivery. Pizza Hut is where you go when you want a lot of volume at a reasonable price. And mostly your local places are where you go when you want to have the absolute best tasting pizza. This is all essential that we know this. Because if you're hosting a little league team and you need to get them all fed after the game, you're not going to the local place that cares about the fact that every single one of the pepperonis is the same thickness. You're going to Pizza Hut where you're going to get 15 pizzas. If you're sitting on your couch and you just want to eat today and you don't want to leave, you're going to Domino's because it's going to get here the fastest. And we all know this from the buyer's perspective. But that umbrella of how we do stuff clouds our judgment. Like, yeah, we have delivery drivers as the local pizza place. We can get it there. Well, not in the same capacity. We're not viewed that way. So being crystal clear as far as what your problem is that you solve and what your prospects get out of you is the starting point to all of this. This is how you are found. This is how people want to gravitate to you. So yes, your business may also have bells and whistles. You might be the unique place that makes duck pizzas. Cool. If that's not your core, it's just going to get lost in the messaging. Well, are they the fastest pizza place or are they making duck pizzas? What is the uniqueness that you lean into and being crystal clear on this? The other part you can't get trapped into is just the features and benefits, because the problem isn't just surface level. So many people get caught on those features and benefits. And as I stated earlier, that's not how you solve. But this is the foundation of how your business gets recognized and how you can get the right prospects to you. Part 3 will address that problem. The foundation of having the right prospects in your pipeline is how you guarantee prolonged success. Because a pipeline that's full of the wrong prospects will break your business. You just don't know it yet. Because they're going to rip and chip things apart because they don't value or care about your business. In a sense, they are using your business. To get the prospects that want to see you succeed, be clear that you are the expert on the problem you solve, and that is your lane of dominance. You do that, you will get prospects that want to see you succeed and want to see you excel. Now, let's flip it to get off of that surface level features and benefits and actually into the souls of our prospects and clients. You buy a truck because of a lot of different reasons. There is no one universal way. There's no one universal way of buying any product. But it's certainly not because of 4 wheels and an engine. You buy a truck because, deep down, I don't want to admit it, but my knees hurt bending into a sedan. Or, you know what? I don't want to lose track of the guys. If I can throw all their golf clubs in the back, I get to see them at least once a week. Or, you know what? I like the fact that my kids keep having me come over, even if it's only to help them move. These are all different reasons you buy a truck. None of them have to deal with the surface level of torque ratios, 4 wheels, engine, sunroof, none of that. So, how do you get someone to tell you the truth so that you're not stuck talking about the features and benefits? Your typical car experience goes something like this. Hey, welcome to Car Lot. How you doing today? Don't worry about me. I'm just looking. I'll talk to you later. Okay. And what do most salespeople do? They go back inside their nice air-conditioned building, or in this case, it's winter, nice warm heated building, while they let their prospects either swelter in the summer heat or freeze on the winter lot. That's what happens. Then after a while, you're like, oh, they look cold. I should go out and talk to them. And during that period, you lost all the connection and ability to really resonate with them. Rather, if you did something the opposite. So, hey, what brought you to the latte? Oh, don't worry about me. I'm just here to look. So you just want to be outside and have icicles here, and this is the place you want to experience it? Surrounded by cars with no ability to do sled riding? This is your jam? It's a completely different way of interacting with people. And what leads you to have that ability of being confident in what you can say and knowing what to say goes far beyond what any script can tell. Because you can't script a relationship. There's no such thing as a one-size-fits-all sales script. It's impossible to produce. But getting to the truth of an individual, about what they truly care about and what drives them, is how you get to the essence of their world. So how do we do this? How do I become the person that they want to open up to and not just be one of the millions on the surface level hawking features and benefits, but how can I actually make a meaningful connection with their soul that they will never forget and they'll want to have repeat client for life experience? Well, the first step is we have to learn to be comfortable ourselves. The first time you ever go skydiving, you are with an instructor. If your instructor is looking all around and fraggled and constantly just uncomfortable, you will not have a pleasant experience jumping out of that plane if you even get on it at all. However, if your instructor is cool, calm, collected, joking around with you, knows the answers, not even looking like this like fear or concern at all, you're going to have the flight of your life and never even think about once about the dangers. This is the same thing that's true with any other guide. And being comfortable is the starting point to being able to get that prospect to open up and tell you the truth of what's going on in their world. And we're going to do a drill to strengthen this exercise right now. So what I need you to do again, make sure all of your notifications are turned off, close your eyes, and get into a relaxed position. And now I want you to think about a situation from your past that did not go the way you wanted it to. Doesn't necessarily mean the biggest disaster of your past, but just a situation in your past that did not go the way you wanted it to. And I want you to take all emotion about how you feel about that situation out. Take it out of the equation. Just look at the people involved as person A and person B. And every relationship dynamic has a natural status of what it should be. So an adult-child relationship is different than a parent-child relationship, which is different than an adult to an adult relationship, which is different to a coworker to coworker relationship, or a coworker to boss, or partner to partner. All of those are different relationships, and we all know what they should be in an ideal circumstances based upon the type of the relationship. And as you're looking in your mind's eye at person A and person B, objectively look and say, is this relationship correct? And stop. For a minute, I want you to sit in that tension that the relationship was not correct. And I want you to analyze why. While staying in that moment of tension, why is it not correct? And again, this is not created to insinuate blame, grow problems, or anything like that. Just at the reality, no emotion involved. Mathematically, why is the relationship wrong in this moment in time between person A and person B? And continue to sit in that space as we conclude this minute. Now that we've sat in it for a minute, I want you to then think about what could have been done differently. Not necessarily by you, but between person A and person B, what could have been done different to make that relationship correct? That's the question. This exercise, more than any other, is the one that causes people to quit Casino Salesmaster. And the reason for that is that everything inside your brain doesn't want you to be in vulnerability, to be in that space of tension, and to look at problems for your past. It wants you not to be able to go into the ocean of your emotions. That's the reality of why most people can't handle the problem. But the truth is that you need to be able to. Because just as if you were trying to swim to the bottom of a swimming pool, Every foot you go closer to the bottom becomes harder. There's more pressure, you have less air in your lungs, and it's scarier. The same thing is true in sales and really connecting with any relationship in a spot that matters. Think about your own life. You ever seen someone who's scared of commitment in a dating relationship? This is why. This is a skill set that most people don't want to exercise. Being comfortable in tension, in vulnerability, and figuring out what could be done about it. This exercise needs to happen regularly. We actually spread it across 2 days in our weekday trainings. That's how important this is. Being able to be comfortable in your own ocean of emotions is the starting point that people will be able to see and register all over you. When you close your eyes, you could tell Arnold was powerful because you knew that he worked out. People are going to look at you and go, I don't know why, but I can trust you. It's the byproduct of this results. It's not always physical. You can see like a physical workout like with Arnold, but they are there, and your subconscious can read who has put in the work, who is comfortable in their ocean of emotions, and who isn't. Because that's the secret. You won't need to write a sales script once you are comfortable and fluent within your own ocean of emotions. You'll know what's really going on within your client's world, and you'll be able to get them to tell you the deep and true facts of it. Because the true success of any sale, whether it's business to consumer or business to business, is, does that prospect want to see me succeed? And they're only going to do that if they trust you and they trust the experience in which they had with you. If not, you're a commodity, which can be as easily changed as the next commodity. But if you make that connection, that, wow, that really got me, that's how you become the movie that becomes binge. That's how you become Titanic, where people watch it over and over again, rather than, it's another Nicolas Cage movie, probably never going to see it again. That's the difference. Did you connect with them and make a giant connection? Being comfortable in your world is that answer. Again, you sit in your own mind's eye. You look at a situation that didn't go the way you wanted. Take all of your emotion out. Was person A and person B acting correctly together? You sit in that moment for at least a minute. And then following that waiting, you look and figure out what could have been done differently and what should have been done differently. And then all the relationships in your life, that's the cool part. This doesn't limit it to sales. All the relationships in your life are going to improve by doing this exercise. It's incredibly powerful. And now that your clients want to connect with you on an emotional level, it's an experience they haven't had before, because they're letting you into their space of admitting, I really haven't even told my kids. I don't even want to admit this myself, but it hurts bending down into a sedan. But I'm telling you, and I don't know why. That's because you're actually there who can help them. They trust that you are not going to hurt them because you're comfortable within your own ocean and you're able to guide with them. Some of the best therapists in the world suffered the same trauma in which they're helping people, because you are able to see that they went through the same challenges as you. You don't have to go through the same problems as your prospects, but you do need to be able to be comfortable in moments of tension and able to solve those issues. And it happens within your own mind's eye and being able to sit with something that's scary. That is the third secret of how to become never dependent upon revenue again, because you always will have revenue at your exposure. As I said, I wanted to give everyone an opportunity to join the Casino Sales Master community. And I'm going to start off by, why is it called Casino Sales Master? Well, as you already have gathered, we do a lot of things that are very elite here. All of the other top-notch sales programs are going to have the same structure, just as we do. How to identify what's going on in your prospect's world, what's their budget, who's the decision maker. You might use different terminology, but that's the crux of all of it. 97% of people do not know how they form their own relationships, let alone how to teach it. That's what makes Casino Sales Master different. It's a revolutionary skill set that is a unique superpower. So when figuring out how to title a course and how to make it stand out, the question was, what is a universally challenging feat that would resonate with people? Well, I could do something exotic, like sell the light bulbs on the Eiffel Tower. That would be cool, but only some people would care about that. Or I could figure out how to sell this special drug that cures something. I'm not a scientist, so that analogy probably didn't fly as good as it should, but you get the core concept. I wanted to overcome a universally accepted, impossible challenge. Everyone knows a casino is built to take your money. Every culture on this planet knows that. That's why they build casinos. They're really good money makers. They are built to take your money. They're even mathematically giving themselves an edge to rig the games to take your money. But if you can walk onto a casino floor with only sales skills and relationship skills and get them, the people who are supposed to take every cent, get them to want to pay you, well, that's a completely different sales system altogether. And that's why it's called Casino Sales Master. So within the course is the easiest way to become part of the community. That's casinosalemaster.win. Casinosalemaster.win. And in there, we do a lot of great things. The drills in which we've outlined 2 of them so far are prominently focused. And there are a number of different drills in which you will receive to take you down that journey to have your prospects to want to see you succeed. You'll get one of those every weekday, as well as constant notifications to do that. We don't want to see absolutely anyone fail our course. We want you to be transformed to have your prospects to see you have success. Sales will heal the world, and doing your sales system correctly is how you do it. So within the course, you get your daily drills. There are also 28 lessons in different specific areas about building up your sales culture and your sales skills. We also do weekly coaching. Twice a week, it is in a group setting where we answer the current questions of the day. The other 2 times of the month, we end up doing game tape review of looking at one of the members' sales calls and breaking down what went well and what didn't. And in doing so, it is a great learning experience for growth for all. For the first 3 people who sign up here today, you also be getting a personalized hour with myself, diving into your sales world and how to make that flourish as everyone else's will. This is the pathway to never having to worry about revenue again, about building your relationship skills so high that every other element of your life improves. You will find that your anxieties start to drop, your stress levels diminish, your teenage daughter stops fighting with you. I know it seems like a miracle, but as you do the relationship skill and building of this, that is what happens. Every element of your life will improve. That's 100% the results in which you will receive of being a part of Casino Sales Master. Again, casinosalemaster.win, casinosalemaster.win. And I'm going to conclude this episode here with the 4th element to guarantee that you'll never need to have to fight for revenue again, as well as opening it up for Q&A, as I mentioned in the beginning. Obviously, we talked about relationships a lot today. I think it's pretty clear. But let's talk about relationships building into the future instead of just looking at the past. I want you to visualize someone in your head that you want to have a relationship with in the future. Ideally, at least 10 years from now, but in the future nonetheless. And for the illustration of this, I'm going to use a kid. And we're going to say we're going to talk to him whenever he's graduated from high school. What you're going to do with this one is you're going to use your phone to either take a video or a voice recording. And you're going to leave it for that person every week. And you're going to be leaving it for them for whenever they are that age in the future. So in this case, when they're 18 graduating from high school. And you're going to talk to them and see them in your world today because they're still a 3-year-old running around. But you're going to talk to them as if they were 18 and they were just graduating from high school. And you're going to share with them stuff that you wish that they could know today, but they're just flat out not capable of having the knowledge. For instance, the reason we freaked out when you brought your first boyfriend over when you were 12 was this. Obviously, we couldn't tell you then, but we can tell you here now. The benefits of doing this drill are extraordinary for both parties. First off, intentional relationship building is one of the best pathways to ensure your relationship will be where you want it to be. Because as you're talking to this person and visualizing what they will be in the future, you will build those steps today. Your brain will make it happen. You are that talented. So you are ensuring that the relationship you want to have will grow and develop with every single piece of power that is within you. Knowing that every relationship is two-sided, you are doing everything you can from your side. The next thing you are doing is you are giving the ultimate gift of knowledge to that person. Every single thing that you wish you would have known growing up, you can now share with them. That is in your voice and personalized. One of the things about the way our brains work, and you can test this yourself, is that when you look back at your parents, you tend to only see them in basically 2 or 3 age ranges. What they were when you were in high school, what they were when you were in elementary school, and sometimes people have an in-between. Intellectually, we know they aged every year progressed through as we did, but that's not how our brains remembers them or remembers their voices. This is a way to constantly be present with them and to show your attention to your loved ones. Simultaneously, you are going to get all of those euphoric benefits that I just mentioned 5 minutes ago that you get from this relationship building success. Because you're going to be sharing with them knowledge and life skills. Sometimes it's going to be light and fluffy as well. You know, why did you draft Labaconki in your fantasy league? All these different things about what's important and relevant to you that you want to share with them and grow with. The intentional relationship building element of Casino Sales Master leaves every single week. It's what we do Friday. It's what leads you into success. It's the constant reminder, this is why we're doing this. Because even though Casino Sales Master will give you great results, it's still sales. There's still moments you're not going to get the answer you wanted. There's still moments that things aren't always perfect. But with that outlook and constantly knowing that we're building a relationship for someone that's important to us in the future, you enhance everything within your life. There is so much science that goes on behind the courses that were built here and the teachings that you've already received here today that it is really intense. And just as I told you earlier, what matters before is what your prospects get from you. It doesn't matter how you did it. We didn't dive a lot into that science, but it is all there and it is all backed. And I want to help each and every one of you achieve it. So again, I'm going to open it up to questions now and look out at CasinoSalesmaster casinosalesmaster.win to be able to join part of the Casino Sales Master community. So with that being said, let's open up the questions. See, we got a couple here popped in. Hey, Peter. Barry, does a prospect really care if you succeed or if they succeed? Well, they do care if you succeed. If you get to the right relationship in place with your prospects, they will care if you succeed. Obviously, there has to be something in for them. That's the problem in which you are solving for your prospects. That is what you are providing for them. But they do get to the point where they care that you succeed. Because when you connect with them on that pure relationship level, you are going to make a connection with them that no other salesperson does. Because they are so used to pushing people away, to only living in their surface level where they are comfortable. By you coming into their ocean of emotions and you living within their space, you're going to forge a unique bond and connection. And that is where they're going to care about your success as much as you care about theirs. Now, obviously, a prerequisite in this is that you can't be like a 1960s salesman who's only using them. That's a prerequisite. Hopefully, I didn't do that without saying. Hopefully, I've mentioned that earlier. But what you need to do is get on their level. Get to a spot where they truly care about you and you truly care about them. That is how you get them to care if you succeed. Yes, they do care that they succeed. Of course they do. They have a problem and you're going to be solving it. And that's how you go about that. So I greatly appreciate your question there, Barry. I believe we spoke about that probably around the 30-minute mark of this podcast for those that are watching this live and need to jump back. But if there are no more questions here presently, I'm going to thank you all for being a part of today's episode, and check us out at casinosalemaster.win. Thank you all and have a great rest of your day.